I got here a little after the truck had already showed up with the delivery. We just got all the cabinets out to the garage. And of course they got the ones that I need first all the way at the outside edge where I got to sort through all my cabinets and start bringing them in and rearranging them out in the garage and making a space to get the ones that I need first that are all the way over there into the building. So I'm finding a few cabinets that I can use off the bat, which are in the way. So it's making me more room so I can get that space to work in. So it's I won't say it's a challenge. It's just interesting. So I got one sitting here. You can't see it on, it's just beyond lens. And I got another one right here going. I want to go ahead and prep that out. You can see that these have adjustable leveling feet that I need to prep for their use to get these positions. And normally, whenever I'm putting them in there, I'll set them in place and they'll have this position and they'll have that position, about 2 inches difference. So you can do a 32-inch cabinet, 34-inch cabinet. Well, these are different than that. So what I'm finding out that I need about 1 3/8 on my feet. That's just the number I'm going to call it. But I've got to turn these out so I can get this relatively close to the height that I want these to be in this room. And I might be good just to simply cut a little gauge block rather than using my tape all the time. Just make a little gauge block, 1 3/8 long, so I can fit it in between the bottom of the top of the foot, and it's where it threads in at. And I have 35-inch and an 8 thick countertop. We'll get me real close to that 36 inches that I'm looking for. And I'm going to turn this around without damaging the doors, because as soon as I flip this on its side, it's going to do bad things to the door. So I got to remove those first off. All right, I made my little gauge block, and this is all I was talking about, a little something. That's 1 3/4 square, so it doesn't matter which way I hold it. It's just out of a piece of scrap base that I have handy. I'm going to spin these out, set that in there, and put that like that, and I just gauge it, and it'll let me know automatically that's going to be 35 inches to the top of the box. All right, I'm getting close to those lazy Susans. That's going to sit there until I can get those lazy Susans set. All right, just got this big monster in with the help of the homeowner. He happened just at the right time, getting over the threshold of the garage door. Perfect timing on that. Thank the Lord for that. So I'm going to tip this off the dolly and get the feet set up just like you would see me do beforehand with that little gauge block, and get this right back up. And hopefully the feet don't break. This thing is a monster. Good. Nothing snapped, nothing went spring. Always good. It just went spring. I wish I had a screw in that thing. It just rolled off. Well, it's far from set, but this is one of the first ones I got to set. And really, I'm going to have to bring in that other lazy Susan because there's a fixed number between here. So if I have to wind up shimming something and get them to go and act and behave themselves by shimming these off the wall a little bit here and there to get them set nicely amongst the whole wall run, then I got to do that too. So we're going to see how that goes. I've got to set that sink base aside, which I brought in prematurely. I shouldn't have done it. It was against my better judgment, but I can just move it aside and get that out of the way. Once I get this one in place, now I'll have everything that I need to set this key line. else in there. Sure would be nice if it was. So it's imperative that these cabinets, I already mentioned this before, but I'm just going to state it again. It's imperative these things go level, dead level in both directions, because they always have cabinets meeting it, and if they're not level, especially with the European style, the frameless style, these will send these cabinets up or down. It's just really good to start with a nice level in both directions cabinet, so there's a non-issue with having it meet with other cabinets farther down the way. What I have is enough in place now to set that other cabinet, the next cabinet, beside it here. And that's one of those 27 inches. And the more cabinets I can gang together, especially in the European style here, the more I can gang together, the more they automatically straight edge themselves across the faces here. So if I can get and handle 3 cabinets together at one time, that's ideal, because I'll have about a 4 foot, if not a 5 foot run of cabinet face that's automatically squared together. I've already leveled the feet to where they're nice and pretty, sitting there without the first screw holding them in place. So that's my ideal situation. Get them all looking good, all level, all meeting each other perfectly in a straight line, then connect them together, and then acting as a straight edge. I can then see my gap at the wall and shim that and keep that going straight and fasten to the wall. I'm glad I measured this, because even though they're designated as the same size cabinet, a 27-inch wide cabinet, one's custom made out of a 27-inch cabinet down to 25. I'm not lining up on my mark over on this one. So this cabinet here, although it's the same number as this one behind me, that one's a full 27 inches. So that cabinet goes over here. So I'm going to simply swap that out and bring in the other cabinet, which is back over there, and get that one prepped out to fit in here. So have to change up sometimes. Now I'm not even going to adjust this one because it's got to go up on the mark, but that's secondary. I need to get this done first. Yes, 25 inches long is here. Right on my layout marks, which is good to see. That means this will jive. And see how the rest of this comes together. I need to get this plumbing mapped out on this box here beside me. And I got the box oriented the way it's going to go so I don't confuse my lefts and rights and which side I'm measuring from. But these caps are going in about exactly where I need them to go. So this will give you some good numbers to work with. Beforehand, I'll use that as where to measure down from the top rather than from the floor up, because the floor is adjustable. It is what the feet in the cabinet is. And I got 10 1/4. Whenever you're drilling with a hole saw, you want to mark it through the cabinet with the hole saw, but then you want to come from the inside of the cabinet and punch it that way the rest of the way through. That way the grain of the wood won't blow out on the other side, giving you a neater hole. That's it. Just mark it. That's it. I'm also going to make these corners here round as well. And we'll take the trusty skill saw and cut the rest of it out. Yeah, a little Maltese cross there for you. Unless that pipe's too high coming through the floor, this should jump right in there. I gotta do some more cutting, but it's minor stuff. Okay. Everything else looks pretty good. I think I got this too high by about 1 inch. Easy enough to get to, but still, it won't let me get this pipe into the box like it should be. So I'm going to go ahead and remeasure that. But yeah, this is fitting back in there, and it's dead on my mark. Excellent. Let me just show you what it looks like now. That's what I was hoping to do with that, to where it's a neat enough cut. We got the box up high enough. We got the valve over here far enough to clear, and it's a neat hole with rounded corners. And that's, you know, it's what I like to at least try to do for what I had to do with it. And there's the clean out down there that you can see through the drilled hole, so they shouldn't lose nothing down behind the cabinet. And there we go. Now see, these three are sitting really nice. I can clamp those up, and they got good bearing underneath of them all the way around. Looking really good. Now this one that the camera's sitting on will go that way to make up a 24-inch wide dishwasher space with a little shim behind the wall. And I got to move over 3/8, 7/16, no, 5/16 to be exact. So it's really not bad. The original measurement I told you was like something and a half. Well, it's only now 5/16 because everything's squared up, trued. And I got this nice long run here to work with. Okay, good. Now this can be. Now I can start leveling up this cabinet. It really tells me the whole story that I need to know about what's happening and where the dishwasher is. Because this could be leaning one way or the other, and it'll make it bigger dimension at the top, smaller at the bottom. All depends on how this decides to go together. And right now, this side's too high by about 1/8 of an inch. And this side's even higher still. So this has got to drop down gangbusters. Oh, it's that back corner thing going on again, just like it was over in the first cabinet. That corner, the foot needs to come up like practically 1/4 of an inch, and that'll change all of this. That'll change the level of these, change the level of that by that foot being adjusted. Now I just got to get enough strength to raise it up. It wants to slide out of the corner first. So that's kind of interesting. A little scenario that I need to reckon with. And I think I know how to do it. Other than doing that. I'm going to set this. Give this a kick. I'm going to set this aside before that does get damaged because I got lucky that time. I'm going to set a couple of screws in front of the feet, which will be covered up by the base. The holes will. So it'll chock the feet so I can lean it forward. And adjust that foot like I need to. Yeah. Boy, this thing is a monster. Got another idea. The shim fell behind and was holding it off the wall in a place where I couldn't reach it. So it's now on the floor. That's beginning to shape up. That's really beginning to look right. I can only get it close because when I draw all these together, that's going to change. But it still gives me a good reference point. 24 top and bottom. Now I can start screwing it together. All right, get myself some clamps. All right, since I got everything really nicely lined up, everything's square in its opening, I'm not going to worry about setting that cabinet over there beside that last Lazy Susan that I set. I'm going to get these all lined up and anchored, screwed to the wall now, since I can add onto this. So I got enough to work with. They're actually a very nice line. So it's going to start with clamping these together. And see, the sides are a little thinner than they typically are, but it is plywood. It's got a good multi-ply. I mean, it's like about 11 ply plywood. And the more laminations there are in plywood, the more stable it is. So this is very nice here. Now, this was 24 from there to there. Curious how much it moved over. A large 24, so only about a 32nd of an inch, so it's not bad. With that, I can start locating the studs on this wall, but I do want to make sure it goes drawn at the bottom only because we're gapped at the top, and then shim the top. So that since everything is all nice and level, I'm going to double check it again and get it tight there, and then shim the rest of the tops. Now that's straight. All I need to do is just fill the spaces where the studs are, and that's easy peasy here. In my anxiousness to get the cabinets in place, I forgot one step that, well, it would have made it nice if I'd have done it at the right time. It's never too late to find the studs so you know where you're mounting your cabinets at. But I should have done it before I put the cabinets in place, where I could go below my red chalk line and mark it above the chalk line. That way they would all be there at the top, right there for me to see, to run my screws through to the studs. But now it's on top of the cabinets, and to mark it over top of the box itself means, you know, looking here, measuring there, it's a little bit more inconvenient, not as, you know, easy to do. I can mark them up here, but then they're far away and they might show above the splash. So it would have been better if I'd remembered it to do before I set all the boxes in place. Still navigable, just a little more difficult. I'll need 2.5 inch long screws to mount all these to the wall. I have an inch of material. 1/2 of an inch of drywall to go through, and that'll give me an inch of the studs, which is, I've read and experienced it myself that an inch of grab into the stud is great. It's all you really need. Besides, code allows wires to be 1.25 inches. Requires, not allows, requires wires to be, wires, plumbing, you name it, at least 1.25 inches behind the face of the studs. So that way you can use that inch of depth and not having to worry about tagging any kind of utilities in the wall. So it's a good rule of thumb to follow that. You go overkill on that, you might find something in the wall you don't want to find. Before I commit all these, I better give this one last check. Make sure everything is the way it's supposed to be. This is moving when it should not be. It's looking better. Still a little rock in it. Now that forced it into level, so that's a good thing. When I draw that back, I'll be able to fine tune that. And when I'm counting on, this is now reading level also in the front, just as a cross reference. So this is still a little high. No, it says this is a little high. Let me just get this right. But if I got these drawers, it's a trick to get everything level and plumb, because these boxes can warp in the front. They can become a parallelogram, and you won't know that unless you check it really carefully, or when you put the drawers in, which is too late, because then everything's pretty well shimmed and set and locked in unless you want to do it. So I want to make sure that everything goes in true, straight, square, plumb, and not racked or anything like that. So that's what I've been putzing with here, just to making sure that it's going to act right. This is now dead level right here. I have plumb. Can still go that way a little bit. That's what I've been trying to do with that shim over there on that far side, to get to draw everything over that way. And I would bring it in one dimension, and anyway, just kind of weird way it's getting yanked around. But it's working. It's just that I don't want it to catch me off guard. And this right here is pretty good. That's a nice line through there. Got a little gap right there where my feet can go up here. I'll go ahead and finalize this Lazy Susan in its place and shimming the amount needed here again, because this panel is going to, the panel that, well, actually it's going to go beside this cabinet I haven't gotten set yet. There's going to be a refrigerator panel. It's going to be about 26, 27 inches deep. So if I pull this off the wall, I don't have to worry about nothing lining up, because I've got plenty of depth. And that way the countertop will finish off against the refrigerator panel very nicely in this one spot. check this through, make sure it makes a straight line. And according to that, this has got to come out 1/4 of an inch. The line is true, but it's just 1/4 of an inch back because that top's not shimmed. Now we'll see where we gotta make our give and take at. And yes, the front's gotta come down gangbusters. And this has gotta go up, which is also half the problem back there. So let's see what this does. Well, that side's wrapped up as far as it needs to go. We got all the fastenings in there. Got a good number of points screwed in place, top and bottom, inside the cabinet at the top. So now I can go ahead and finish off this run through here because I only got about 3 screws in this one. So I'll probably have about half a dozen or more when it's all done. But it should be just a matter of setting shims in place and tightening them up on the shims. Since these boxes are all screwed together, I don't have to reach inside anymore. Except for putting that one panel over there, I can pull those 3 drawers. That's not a problem. But these right here, I can get these back in place again because they're laying all over the place. I need to get everything collected back. Of course, I got dumb and did not finished that cabinet off over here and didn't double check my last number, final number. But I got 24 and a 32nd. I am good with that. Yes, top and bottom, 24 and a 32nd. Thank you, Lord. Okay. Surprised that didn't get damaged when that thing went straight down. It didn't have a door to stop it since it's on ratchets and just enough pressure to make it move. But since the doors weren't underneath of it, the pressure just sent it straight down. It's like, wow. And start getting this cabinet set, and that one is right there in the foreground. But I want to start with getting this level to start with, off of this all the way across. And this has got to go up a half of a mile. It says so on the chalk line too. Let's get you on a pencil line. That's already been established. See if I got that. Nice when they're just simple boxes and not lazy Susans and stuff, because 2 dimensions instead of 4 is a beautiful thing. Well, that's got pretty much it for all the base cabinets here. So the only thing I got to do here and there for the rest of the to finish off the base, one is obviously the handles and such. But I got a filler over here to run, but I'm not going to put the filler in over there yet, because the homeowners want to paint all the walls above the cabinets. And I already gave them the guidelines that they need. And actually, I want to leave some tape on the wall so they can see that they need to paint here or there, things like that. But I'll get that all laid out for them. So anyway, again, this is pretty much it for the base cabinets. I'm going to move on with the wall cabinets next, and the refrigerator panel and everything else. Then I still got a crown that's going to go over top of the cabinets at the wall cabinets, and that's a scribed in crown where it's going to meet the crown really nice. And it would be nice if the ceiling's nice and flat, but I've always had to, make it follow the curves of the ceiling, which always happens. So anyway, that'll be next. So stay tuned. Well, that's got this segment wrapped up. If this is something that you've enjoyed watching, that you maybe picked up on a tip or two, hey, why don't you hit that like button? Maybe better yet, hit that subscribe button. And if you left a comment, I would love to be able to elaborate on anything that I've done in this video. Until then, till the next video, in this segment, perhaps another one. We'll see you all later. You have a great day. Bye-bye.